Good day everyone, we are presenting Riverside Resilience Park, a sustainable urban sport and recreational hub for Cagayan de Oro City. Our project focuses on urban resilience, transforming a high-risk riverfront area into a vital, multifunctional public asset. It is a development that supports recreation while also strengthening the city's environmental protection systems. Cagayan de Oro is one of the most flood-prone cities in the Philippines. 72 out of 80 barangays are identified as flood risk areas. The city's flood history, especially Typhoon Sindong in 2011, which caused 1,470 deaths and 2 billion pesos in damages, shows that structural defenses alone are insufficient. Dikes and embankments must be paired with non-structural, nature-based solution to reduce urban vulnerability. As you can see in the picture below, taken on June 3, 2004, the downtown area already had very few trees. Large portions of the city center were dominated by concrete with almost no vegetation, limited shading, and a very little natural infiltration. This early lack of greenery meant that surface temperature were already high. Storm water runoff was rapid, and the landscape had very weak natural flood absorption. Today, the situation has intensified. Rapid urbanization has added even more impermeable surfaces like roads, building and parking areas, further reducing green covers. Despite some isolated tree planting efforts, downtown Cagayan de Oro still lacks continuous tree canopies and functioning green spaces. As a result, urban heat levels have increased, drainage systems are frequently overwhelmed, and 42 barangays now experience the urban heat island effect. The city's natural ability to absorb and slow down storm water has significantly weakened over time. Our SWOT analysis highlights why the site is both strategic and challenging. For strengths, its strategic centrality. The site is near City Hall, Liceo de Cagayan University, and Gaisano City Carmen, ensures high visibility and relevance to surrounding community. It also offers high accessibility, which supports consistent community participation and daily usage. And lastly, the project has maintained relevance, aligning directly with NEDA's requirement for green infrastructure, making it both timely and highly justifiable. For weaknesses, the site carries a historical flood risk since it has long been identified as flood-prone zone. It also suffers from poor existing drainage, which contribute to recurring inundation during heavy rains. And finally, the overall cost of resilient and adaptive infrastructure is higher than conventional development, and long-term maintenance will require steady resources. For opportunities, the project can act as a catalyst for renewal, revitalizing the entire Carmen riverfront and transforming an underutilized space into a community asset. It also supports education, serving as a living laboratory for climate resilience and environmental awareness. And through its design, it enhances recreation, offering much-needed nature-based leisure areas for residents. And lastly, threats. Increasing climate severity means more frequent extreme weather events, which could challenge the park's adaptive systems. There is also concern with sustainability, since long-term funding and management must be secured for continuous operation. And lastly, the site faces the risk of encroachment and pollution, especially along river corridors, which could compromise both safety and environmental quality if not properly managed.
Now we go to our project proposal. To respond to these issues, we propose the Riverside Resilience Park, a multifunctional green infrastructure hub shaped around the climate realities of Cagayan de Oro City. The park integrates 4 key components. First is the flood adaptive structures. Vendor stalls use temporary tents while essential facilities are designed to be quickly relocated or dismantled before flood events. This ensures safety, reduces damage, and keeps the park functional year-round. Second is green stormwater infrastructure. We enhance the existing canal within the site, supported by the bioswales and permeable pavements to improve drainage, prevent soil erosion, and manage surface runoff effectively. Next, the third one is sports and recreation zone. Courts, open activity areas, and flexible community spaces provide year-round recreation for residents and surrounding barangays. Fourth is the tree buffers and green corridors. Native trees and vegetations help stabilize soil, reduce heat, provide shaded pathways, and restore local biodiversity. Now, we go to the project synthesis. Our project is tested against strategic filters to ensure it's not just a good idea, but a necessary regional imperative. Filter 1 is strategic merit. We are directly addressing the NEDA SUID imperative vulnerability reduction by building resilient, sustainable public infrastructure. This aligns with UN SDG 11 by creating inclusive, resilient cities. We're upgrading critical settlements through nature-based defense systems. It also satisfies SDG 13. This is urgent, local action to combat the destructive impacts of climate change, specifically the intensifying flood risk in our region. Now, we go to the filter 2. In the filter 2, we have disaster risk reduction and relevance. The core design satisfies the DRR criterion, and our solution is a green infrastructure system. The very heart of the park is a flood adaptive design. This concept means integrating bioswales and detention ponds to actively manage storm water and mitigate local flooding, turning a hazard into a feature. Finally, we go to the convergence and local government units involved. A metropolitan problem requires a metropolitan solution. This project initiates regional convergence. This park is a pilot for our unified standard of riparian zone management. The immediate implementation is in Barangay Carmen in Cagayan City, but immediately involving adjacent metro LGUs for regional convergence. This ensures that the efforts in the Cagayan City are complemented by our neighbors like El Salvador City and others. A unified standard is the only way to manage the river systems effectively across the metropolitan areas.
Next is the project detail. The Riverside Resilience Park is designed as a non-structural flood defense system for the neighboring district. Its core strategy is to use engineered landscape features and adaptable, movable components to manage stormwater while still functioning as a vibrant public park. Dual-purpose design elements such as the skate park functioning as a detention basin and vendor areas using removable tent stalls ensure maximum flood resilience and high operational efficiency. This approach positions the park as a leading model for climate-adaptive urban development within the city. Urban resilience and flood mitigation. A key feature of the project is the skate park. Under normal conditions, it serves as a recreational space with bowls and ramps. During extreme rainfall, its bowl-shaped geometry allow it to operate as a temporary detention basin, capturing, holding, and slowing down excess stormwater to reduce downstream impact. Across the park, green infrastructure systems such as permeable paving, bioswales, and rain gardens work together to absorb, filter, and infiltrate runoff. These features reduce the volume of water entering drainage lines, lowering the risk of flash flooding. All essential services, including vendor areas, public toilets, and kiosks, are designed as movable or modular structures. Tent stalls can be dismantled during flood alerts, modular toilets, and small kiosks can be relocated to the higher ground, ensuring that infrastructure remains safe and functional after flood events. For the sports, recreation, and social hub, beyond flood resilience, the park enhances community life by providing both active and passive recreation spaces. Active features includes public multipurpose courts, fitness stations, jogging and cycling paths, and a central plaza for gathering. Passive zones offer shaded picnic spaces, riverside seating, and native tree planting to reduce heat and create comfort. The park also supports local entrepreneurship and environmental education through its designated vendor and learning areas. For the site development plan, the project covers 59,502 square meters or 5.95 hectares with a perimeter of 1,566 meters. Since it is located in a flood-prone zone, the park follows an open, non-structural design approach. No permanent buildings are constructed. All amenities remain movable, modular, or temporary, ensuring full adaptability during flood events. The site development plan organizes the park according to elevation, safety, and flood flow. Entrances, tree buffers, open lawns, and pathways ensure accessibility, comfort, and efficient circulation. For the sections and elevations illustrate the park's open, flexible nature, the height relationships between active and passive zones, and the integration of green infrastructures across varying site levels. For the project phases, Phase 1 is site preparation and flood mitigation, infrastructure clearing, grading, and installation of permeable paths, bioswales, and rain gardens, zoning active and passive areas. Phase 2 is core recreational facilities construction of dual-purpose skate park, installation of modular toilets, movable kiosks, tent stalls, paths, and shaded spaces. Phase 3 is landscaping and enhancement of tree planting, riverside seating, community areas, and expanded stormwater features. Phase 4 is community and vendor integration, opening vendor spaces, deploying tents, and conducting community orientation. Phase 5 is monitoring and adaptive management, evaluating flood performance, adjusting movable structures, and refining resiliency strategies over time.
Good day. For the project impact, I will present how the Riverside Resilience Park contributes to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, how it responds to the sustainable urban infrastructure development, identified vulnerabilities, and how it improves sustainable and livability in Cagayan de Oro City. Our project directly supports SDG 11, which is Sustainable Cities and Communities. We transform a high-risk flood-prone riverside area into a safe, accessible, and inclusive public park. The integration of green infrastructure, recreational amenities, and adaptive structures reduces environmental risk while improving urban quality of life. The project also advances SDG 13, which is climate action. By using nature-based solutions such as biowhales, rain gardens, and permeable paving, we reduce stormwater runoff and improve infiltration. The skate park doubles as a detention basin, capturing excess stormwater during extreme rainfall. This strengthens the city's climate resilience. Then, based on the National Economic and Development Authority or NEDA and Sustainable Urban Infrastructure Development or SUID Master Plan, Cagayan de Oro faces chronic flood vulnerability and lacks non-structural mitigation systems. Our project solves this by introducing a green infrastructure park in a designated vulnerability hotspot. This prevents unsafe development in a high-risk area and strengthens riparian management along the riverfront. The Riverside Resilience Park aligns with SUID's priority strategy of vulnerability reduction. While the city already has structural defenses such as dikes, The plan emphasizes the need for non-structural ecological measures. Our project complements this by creating a protective buffer and improving urban environmental resilience. For sustainability, the design incorporates permeable pavements, rain gardens, and biowells to slow and absorb storm water. All park fixtures are movable to prevent flood damage. The project also restores riparian vegetation, stabilizing soils and improving river health. These features reduces heat, improve air quality, and support long-term ecological stability. For livability, the park provides accessible recreation such as courts, jogging paths, open lawns, and shaded resting zones. Because it is centrally located near City Hall and Liceo de Cagayan University, it will be highly used by students, workers, and families. This enhances physical health, social interaction, and overall community well-being. So, in summary, the Riverside Resilience Park matters because it solves multiple high-priority problems faced by Cagayan de Oro. First, it provides non-structural flood mitigation, which the city urgently needs. Barangay Carmen is a designated vulnerability hotspot, and this project acts as a protective buffer that reduces runoff, increases infiltration, and gives excess water a place to go. Second, it addresses the city's significant lack of public green space, especially in dense urban cores, by transforming an underutilized hazard zone into the district's largest riverside park. We deliver recreational, social, and environmental benefit that the community currently does not have access to. Third, the project repairs and restores the degraded riparian ecosystems, stabilizing riverbanks, improving biodiversity, and reducing erosions. This is essential for long-term river health and aligns with national environmental guidelines. Fourth, it enhances urban livability by offering safe recreation, shaded walkways, open spaces, and community facilities, all of which directly benefits students, workers, and family who regularly traverse this central area. And, finally, the project aligns directly with UN Sustainable Development Goals 11 and 13 and fulfills the NADA SUID Master Plan's mandate for vulnerability reduction and climate adaptive urban planning. Overall, it transforms a dangerous, neglected riverfront into a resilient, functional, and social valuable asset for the entire city.